Good morning, folks. Welcome back to another great episode of Science is Awesome. Now, I know last week we talked about the rumors and our special guest appearance today. And yes, today we in fact have in our presence the one and only Derek Peacock. Welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Thank
Man,
you,
I can't believe this. In the house, Derek Peacock.
I know, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you, bro?
Good. So, we're excited to have you here today. And, each week we bring in a new guest talking about their research and things that they are very passionate about. So tell me, Derek, what are you passionate about?
Well, Daniel, I'm passionate about environmental toxicology. And today, my research proposal is about the effect of propylene glycol on water fleas, or Daphnia manga. And the reason why propylene glycol is so important to these fleas is that every day people discard cigarette butts and e-cigarette butts into the environment.
I hate
And
that.
annually, 4.5 billion are released into the environment as litter. And their leche is left to just contaminate the soil and the aquatic environments, thus affecting these fleas. The reason the Daphnia manga is so important and is a good model organism is because it's so sensitive to chemical changes in the environment.
Wow, that's very interesting. So you're telling me that just the cigarette butts that people smoke every day, once they get into the water, it directly affects these biotic environments, and it's detrimental? How far has this come along?
Little is known about the effects of propylene glycol on these water fleas. However, like cerium and manganese have been really well researched.
I see. So how are you going to undertake this research? What is your exact course of action to determine what's been affecting these organisms, how you can treat these harsh external factors?
Well, this whole experiment entails I'm going to experiment the multi-generational reproductive effects of propylene glycol, different concentrations on separate groups of water fleas. And what I'll be using is 1 liter of propylene glycol and 2 TK34 Daphnia manga test kits. And what I'll do is we're going to put 150 fleas in each well on a well plate, and we're going to have a control group of 0% propylene glycol, and then each other well will have 20, 40, 60, and 80% concentration of propylene glycol. And every 48 hours, we will remove the old fleas, and we will take the dead ones out and count those to get a mortality rate. And then I'm going to put the new fleas into new solution. And we're just going to do 4 generations. And every generation, I will take them out, and I'm just going to analyze them under a dissection scope. And that's about it for the materials and methods.
Wow, I mean, it's a very intuitive process you got there. So, it seems like you're going to need a lot of fleas for this. Where in the world are you going to get all these fleas? Are you going to go to the Gulf and get them, or are you going to just shop around? I mean, how are you going to come by all these fleas?
Well, the Daphnia manga are going to come from aquaculturestore.com, which is located in St. Augustine, Florida. And for roughly $80, you get 1,000 fleas. And the propylene glycol, the 1 liter of propylene glycol will come from Fisher Scientific in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for roughly $120.
So, tell me more about your proposed budget. It by no means seems like this is going to be a cheap endeavor. So, what's your projected amount of money that you're going to need for this research?
Well, expendable supplies are going to cost $757.54. This includes the test kits and the propylene glycol. And permanent supplies will cost $781.04, which brings a grand total to $1,538.58, which is not bad considering the size of the experiment.
Okay. So, I mean, are you going to come about this money by yourself? I mean, how are we going to just obtain this money?
Well, no, obviously I need help from outside sources, and any donations would be greatly appreciated.
You hear that, folks? He needs money. This is just a very important thing. It's for the environment. We need money to continue this research. So please consider Mr. Derek Peacock. I see that you've brought your results here today of your projected research endings. So can you explain to me and get in more detail about this?
Right. Well, this is the reproduction performance that is expected after the experiment. And here you can see at the bottom, this is the concentration of propylene glycol. And we can see here that we start with 150 adult fleas, and then as the concentration goes up, you can see a greater increase of death and mortality and fewer species every generation.
I see. Now, does each bar represent each generation?
Yes. So
Okay.
the blue's first, red is second, third is green, fourth is purple. Right.
That's very interesting. Well, thank you for bringing that. Now, one last question before we leave, Mr.
Yeah.
Peacock. What are your higher aspirations for this project? What do you think will benefit mankind?
Well, the importance of this is that we can see how we as humans, how our litter can affect the ecosystems outside of our doors and homes. And understanding this will hopefully bring awareness to for people to not litter and just think of the environment more. That's the goal.
Let's see. So, folks, when you go outside, keep your trash to yourselves, put in the garbage bins, recycle. Mr. Derek Peacock has got it down. So,
Don't smoke.
thank you, sir, for coming on my show.
Yeah, man. I
Shake
appreciate
your
it.
hand warmly.
I appreciate it.
Guys, this was so exciting. We didn't think it was going to come today, but he's here. We had this interview. This is Daniel Kang from Science is Awesome, signing off tonight.